All right, we are here with Ted Leo, who's stringing his guitar, as you can see. He was a band of the day for the Brendan Leonard show, and we've caught up with him on his tour. Right now, we're in Chicago, the Fireside Bowl. We're going to talk to him a little bit about what's it like being in the creative world and the world of making music, and how the Brendan Leonard show has deeply affected his life in more ways imaginable. So, you're on tour.
Yes.
Is it a lot of people talk about the life of a rock star being carefree and easy. Now, is that true or?
Well, I don't really know too many rock stars.
Yeah,
so that's kind of hard for me to say.
No, but a lot of people don't know that this is really a hard gig to get in a van, start off, and go to different cities and play to.
I mean, here's the thing, it's definitely a grind, and it's not like a 9-to-5 job, and sometimes that actually does seem a little alluring, when you're just like, because it's a 24-hour day job, except if you're sleeping, But if you're sleeping on a hard floor somewhere, that could be considered part of the job, too. So maybe it is never a job, but at the same time, like, I mean, you're playing, you're traveling around, you're playing music. There's like, you can complain. There are things to complain about without a doubt, especially when, there are a lot of things that happen in this world that like make things harder than they need to be, et cetera, but ultimately, like, you kind of can't complain too much, So.
Has there ever been a moment or a time where you've really kind of almost second guessed, why am I doing this?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm getting old, Yeah. I mean, it's only, that's only important in that, I mean, there are like pressures, there are societal pressures that come down, and everything from whatever, like rent to, rent today to like, where am I going to be in 5 years? Which the older you get, the 5 years ahead is a smaller, you know what I mean? Like when you're like 20, 25 is not the same as when you're 30 and you're looking at 35, or you know what I mean? And so there have definitely been times when just on that level I've been a little worried about whether I could keep this up. Also, there have been some like, as we were talking about it being a bit of a grind earlier, like there are like physical demands that actually like kind of wear on you. Like I was mentioning to you before we went on camera that like I lost my voice last spring, and that was like, it was like for real, and it's not fully healed back yet, it's kind of something I have to consider, and it's definitely given me pause now and then,
Yeah.
But again, it's just like you just kind of have to take each day as it comes and each situation as it comes. And if there really comes a point when it seems like it's not going to be the right thing for me to be doing anymore, then I just have to.
So, but there is a certain pressure. I mean, there's a lot of people I know who watched the show and got inspired to do something, maybe start their own cable access show or start playing music. And there's a certain pressure to kind of fall back on safer, more traditional venues or safer jobs. Like, when did you know that you wanted to be a musician and not maybe a 9-to-5 accountant?
I don't actually think that I ever had to make that choice per se. I really think that I just kind of like I never woke up one day and was like, I'm gonna be a musician. I just I can look back now to like years and years and years ago and sort of see the like arc of my life and how it led to this moment from all the way back, way back. I mean, I hesitate to use a word like dharma or something, but like I do really feel like I just kind of, it just was like a natural progression for me to go from being in school, all of a sudden I'm old enough to like, pick up a guitar, so, it just, music has always been a part of my life, and singing it's always been a part of my life, and eventually it just became playing it, and then it became doing it quote unquote professionally, This kind of has been a constant flow. There was never really like an epiphany kind of moment,
So there wasn't a a certain band or a certain event where you realize, that could be something I'd want to do? I mean,
well, I think it was a really cumulative thing. There were lots of bands actually and lots of events. From all the way back, like when I was, really young and like first heard like Buddy Holly or something, to like when I started going to like punk shows in the like middle '80s and stuff. I was really like inspired by that, and it all, to like, like the last show that we played, and I got to watch the other bands that we played with and stuff. Like it's just kind of this constant like, it's just been like kind of a constant like inspiration and stuff.
Yeah. Now you mentioned that it is a hard road, and a lot of it is sacrifice, and sometimes you want sometimes you want the comfort of knowing that you're going to have a 9-to-5 job. Can you think of a moment recently where you've realized that, okay, I know why I'm doing this. This is worth sleeping on someone's floor.
Oh yeah. I mean, honestly, I swear to you, this is not like an exaggeration when I say it literally like almost every night. Like I'm reminded of of the good things about it and why I do it. Because I don't it's it's not just the the numbers of people that turn out to see us these days, but it's the type of reaction that we get is or seems to be of a more of a deeper appreciation than just like, yeah, we're out to see a band and woo, I love the Stones, man. Like people seem to be like really kind of like keying into something and somewhat like touched in a way by like what we do or whatever, and when you actually get to feel that finally, that then that takes you the next day, and when you feel that the next day, that takes you the next day.
Yeah. Well, as an observer, I can tell you that when you have good music to react from, it's certainly easier from the audience. But thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you.
And if you want to learn more about Ted Leo, be sure and check out the Band of the Day section in our website, and they'll link you to Lookout Records as well as Ted Leo's own site. So thank you very much. See you next time.